Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich here with your outlook for September 30th, 2015. And for the last day of September 2015, we're going to have a trough that's going to set up over the eastern United States. It's going to push in through today, and that's going to allow a cooler than average October, as we've been talking about now since we put out our autumn outlook back in the middle of August. This is finally getting here, and we are going to get the cooler temperatures going in, coming into the area that's going to keep temperatures below normal for the entire month of October as a whole. But we're going to get some really cool air coming in here because of a system that we're watching off the southeastern U.S. coastline here down by the Bahamas. Now, first things first, this is our exiting system right here. This area low pressure move is forming along a cold front boundary, and this is going to move off to the northeast, become elongated as it does so, and it's going to take any bit of precipitation that fell in the overnight hours. It's going to take it with it. You will have an opportunity for a shower mainly before mid-afternoon, or actually in central PA will probably be just confined in the morning. And then we're going to stay mostly cloudy throughout the rest of the day here with that opportunity for a shower, and that's going to be mostly for our eastern areas. I looked at the NAM high-res future simulated radar. It also does the same thing, where it keeps most of just the spotty stuff, very hit or miss, over for our eastern zones as far as precipitation is concerned. Now then our focus is going to turn to the southeastern, off the southeastern U.S. coastline. I'm going to switch gears here and go over to the southeastern U.S. coastline and show you Joaquin, which is a tropical storm now, is expected, at least by the National Hurricane Center projections and our own projections at EPAWA, to become at least a Category 1 hurricane. We think this is going to end up doing here is it's been drifting southwest. We do think it's going to continue to drift southwest a little bit further, and then it's going to take a turn due north, and at some point, we think the ridge builds over top of it, which is going to pull it inland here. Now, we think that occurs south of Norfolk, Virginia, which is right here, right along just north of the border of Virginia and North Carolina. We think any landfall point will be south of that point here. So we're not expecting any New Jersey or Delaware, and no landfalls up here. We're not talking about any Sandy situations here. Yes, this will be a hurricane or a hybrid version thereof once it approaches the coastline. Hybrid means that there's the trough axis that we just spoke about, that's settling into across the eastern seaboard. If this thing phases with it, we go from a warm chord hurricane to a cold chord system, and it would be basically a post-tropical cyclone, but a hybrid, and no longer technically a hurricane, even though it would still have those characteristics or have the high winds and heavy rains with it. So just a little technicality there, but as we move this a little bit forward here, this is using the 18Z GFS. This will go to the southwest and then head due north. And at some point, and it's the GFS model's prediction here, it's going to keep going to the north here, and then to make a hook. Now this has it going north of Norfolk, actually into the mouth of the Chesapeake. We think that's a little bit too far north. Just think it's going to be a little bit stronger than what's indicated here, which is going to allow this thing to come up and come in further south. So somewhere, I would think, along North Carolina coast would be our best bet right now, but that's not, of course, not certain. That's just what we are projecting at the moment. Not what the National Hurricane Center is projecting. There, however, way in advance of this system, there will be this tropical feed of moisture that's going to push into our area and bring us back into the rain here by Thursday afternoon, as we get through through the night Thursday night into the day Friday. You're going to have a pressured gradient that's going to increase the winds out of the northeast. You're going to have winds that are going to be sustained 15 to 25 with gusts over 40 miles per hour. This, again, well in advance of the system. And you can see all this rain just streaming in here. And that's going to continue to push up to the northwest and give us more rain further for areas further northwest as we get into Friday and Saturday. So we can have some rain, some possible heavy rain moving in with this. And then this band is going to move off to our south, the strongest band. But here comes the tropical storm, or what might be a hurricane at this point, what we think would be a hurricane at this point. And then we're going to have to deal with that again also. Now the question is, if it's how far north does this get? If it just comes into North Carolina and is coming out in this area here, we could just be we'll get a high pressure north winning out and drying us out a little bit, or just leaving us with just a few showers as opposed to very heavy rain. And I think that's going to be the more likely scenario of this thing, instead of what the GFS is showing kind of coming in here like this. We think it's going to end up somewhere kind of like this here. So that's going to make a big difference in our forecast. We will escape the heaviest winds. Of course, it will still have some gusty winds, but nothing like what it would be as if this thing was making landfall in the mouth of the Chesapeake, which is a big difference. So we do think it continues to the west. It's going to hang out for a little bit and might move back through the area here again, but this is not a hurricane anymore. This is post-tropical. This is just a remnant low at this point, or a depression, and then it's just going to move off to the northeast. Might bring some more rain in the Sunday, Monday time frame, depending on where this goes after it does come inland, if it does come inland. So a lot of uncertainty once we get past, say Friday, basically past Friday. I think we got a lockdown through Friday. Once we get past Friday, that's when it starts to get a little bit sketchy. There is the possibility this system does also come up the coast and head out this way, although it's becoming less likely for that to happen. The window of opportunity for this thing to escape to the east is very, very slowly coming to an end. There was an opportunity for this thing to escape, but once this ridge builds over the top here, and you got it's going to actually push this thing back in here. It's not going to allow it to escape, and I think that's what's happening here. That window of opportunity for this thing to escape would have had to start occurring by now, but it's really not. Once the high pressure moves in and locks this in, it's really not going anywhere. The only thing it can do is come in. So that's why we're favoring this inland track, just not this far north. Probably more like something like this all across North Carolina than heading into Virginia after that point. But we'll monitor it in the next couple days. Either way, we have a lot of rain potential over the next couple days, and that might not just end with what is expected through Friday and Friday night. We might also have something lingering into Saturday and again on Sunday and Monday if this remnant low does decide to come back through with some more moisture. It's all going to depend on where that high sets up and how much influence that has coming in from the north. Whether that can keep us dry and keep everything to our southwest, or we're going to be done with more rain and maybe even some heavy rain as we head into early next week. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and that is your outlook for September 30th, 2015. Have a great Wednesday.